Welcome back to On the Slab, exclusively on the Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube. You know what night it is? It's Friday night, it's movie night, so let's get cracking. And tonight, we're a man short. What's the story, G-Man? How are you?
I'm back.
You're always going to be back. But, of course, the Podfather, as he's so affectionately called, is not with us this evening. That's okay. We'll still struggle on, you know.
Busy times ahead, eh?
Absolutely. How are you keeping, dude?
I'm back to full complement. Teeth aren't sore.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, I have a bit of work to get done, but sure, that's a story for another day.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. I'm enjoying my new work life. You know, the night shift. That's, you know, you get to see and hear a lot of weird shit on the nights, you know.
Yeah, especially in this kind of creepy situations.
Yes, big time. But anyway, so we're gonna do a little bit of one of our famous list episodes that we loved doing so much, and
they're great because you can, instead of just having one movie, you can envision 5, 6, 10, 20 movies.
Yeah. It's
like we had a 26 movie list there a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
With the franchises, you know what I mean? 10 movie lists. I've had the creature feature ones.
Yeah.
This time we've gone a little bit different.
Yes.
We've worked the list between us this time.
Yes, and even Ian has rubber stamped it, so it's an official On the Slab recommendations, and the recommendations we're talking about today are 5 ZomCom horrors. So that's, of course, zombie comedy.
Yeah. Well, now we did have to turn you off having the Zom rom-coms now.
Zom rom-coms, I was pushing for that so hard. And even Ted, who was not, you know, chomping at the bit to get onto this for a Zom rom-com. He loves his Zom rom-coms. But sure, look.
How could you not love them?
I know. Well, we left out the rom, so we've the ZomCom horrors.
Why would we? It's not a romantical place here on the Slab.
No, that's retrotainment.
Sure, look, not our fault. We're just class.
Yes, are. Shout out to Ted, of course. So yeah, what we're going to do is, it's not going to be like a top 5. It's just 5 films that we like and that we would suggest people watch, because horror and comedy works really well together, doesn't it?
Depends on the way the movie is made. If it's made to be a zombie or a horror comedy, they work perfectly. But if you're a serious movie and you're throwing in a lot of comedy into it, it can look stupid.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of it that's done badly, and it really does hurt the genre. Like, the genre is probably as poor as it's been for a long time.
Yeah.
Because of things like that and whatnot. But when you get it right, it's an absolute comic gold.
Yeah, and the gas thing is, some of the films we're talking about today, they're just as gory as straight up horror films, like.
Oh yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, when you get the comedy level right in the movie itself, and the story is good, it's genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, as I says, you can get it really wrong, and it's just awful.
I love that when, like, isn't there's sometimes when there's films that are meant to be straight up serious, and they end up in hilarious, but not intentionally.
Yeah. But like, some of them you can like because of the way it's done, but like, some movies get made to take the piss out of themselves.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are like, oh no, this is going to be a serious movie, and it just turns out to be taking the piss out of itself because it's shy.
Yeah. Do you know what series of films I hated? Do you remember fucking Scary Movie?
Yeah.
You probably liked that, didn't you?
I enjoyed the first 2 because I was only about 10 or 11 when they came out.
Jesus Christ.
But after watching them, I only went back and rewatched them there not so long ago. They're absolutely terrible.
Muck, an absolute boil. You know what I mean? That's. Yeah. I just hate that.
There was a couple that I liked that came out around the same time as that. There was Shriek, I Know What You Did Last Friday the 13th.
Jesus.
It, it came out. It was a piss taking mashup of all those 90s, 80s slashers, which was good. Like it's not great, but it's like if you're doing one of those ones where you're taking the piss out of yourself, you might as well go big at it.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Stan Helsing,
Stan Hills. It's like,
where they have Leatherface, Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason, and Pinhead as the five bad guys in it.
I
Yeah.
don't.
No,
I
it's
can't say I've
terrible.
ever. It's awful, isn't it?
Well, it's not awful. It's like Scary Movie. It's done that kind of way, but
I'll have to
like
check
it's
that out.
just great seeing them all together. Like I know it's not the real ones, but
Yeah.
it's a bit of crack.
Oh, all right, then I'll look that one up. But it's not on our
Probably
list
not.
anyway.
No, no
Right. So
zombies in that one.
no. All right. So let's now let's get we were. We're gonna have a separate list for the more straight up zombie infected movies within
Yeah,
at some
like
point.
you can't put zombie comedies into thing because you're going to take away from actual zombie movies that are ridiculously good and won't make it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like there's a couple of movies on this list that could get into any zombie list,
Yeah.
but if you have an actual zombie list, you're going to miss out on two or three to put in these movies.
Yeah.
And so like there's different genres inside the zombie subgenre, really.
Yeah. So
It's
like
all very
that's
confusing.
I know it's all slow moving and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll definitely keep the zombie comedy separate from the straight up zombie films. I think.
Yeah, because some of the straight up zombie movies are ridiculously good.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there'd be more than five in it as well. So
Yeah, I'd say between the three of us when we get Dynamo back, it could be a 20 list,
yeah,
30 list even.
well, let's not lose the run of ourselves there, but we'll be able to be. It will be more than five anyway, for definite.
That's it.
So starting us off, do you want to go or will I?
I'll go. We'll go down under, but not quite as far as Australia. We'll head to New Zealand for Black Sheep.
Great film.
It's this movie is one that I rented out with my mate as we used to go over to Exhibition and get the 5 for 5 for a fiver.
Yeah.
Five movies for 5 days for a fiver. We picked the worst movies we could find, and this came out of it. It was like the cover of it alone. It's very similar, like to an Irish made movie.
Yeah, there's
I
similarities
felt.
with the Irish countryside on this, isn't it?
I looked at it though. When I first picked it up, I thought it was an Irish movie. I was like, what? How did I not know about this? Like the front cover is a sheep standing on a what looks to be like a Chicicento or something.
Yeah.
Little square car, and it doesn't tell you anything about it really. It's just like there you go. It's called Black Sheep,
And it kind of came out of nowhere, really, if I remember correct. It was released in 2007, but it just kind of came out of nowhere with no real fanfare. But
yeah, it was an independent movie, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. But like there's the gore in this film is brilliant, like and the effects are like they're quite they're special, just practical. Like it's not CGI or anything like that.
It didn't need to be over the top either.
Oh, but do you know what I love about it though, Ian? Sorry for interrupting you there. You know when like you can see sometimes the difference between a sheep puppet and and you can see that difference, but because it's such a cool little film, you kind of forgive it for that.
Oh yeah, well you can't really do it on a real sheep. I'm sure Peter would go absolutely bananas.
Yeah,
but I don't know, like so they didn't go over the top on it either. Now it's craziness in the movie itself, but like they didn't go over the top with gore and trying to make things look spectacular or whatnot with CGI as well.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's entertaining.
You could also, as I was saying to you off screen, it could also be a were sheep type thing as well. Like instead of
Yeah, I think yeah, like it's got very similar striking scenarios to a werewolf movie, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like what was it? Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbit, that kind of
Where
way.
have it? Yeah, something like that.
Like the scene where the sheep is in the barn eating the guy is hilarious. Like he does have, I know sheep have that kind of a face anyway,
Mm.
but it has kind of like a snout like a werewolf in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I tell you, like, yeah, you wouldn't think it would be kind of scary or creepy looking at that many sheep, would you? But it fucking is.
Anytime you peel the skin back on something, it looks bad. But yeah, no, the effects in this were very good.
Yeah.
Um,
An
yeah, the
enjoyable
effects were
film.
very, very good.
Very enjoyable
Yeah,
film.
like I've watched it a few times. I actually bought it there when Extravision was closing down. I was like, I'll get it for the collection. I have it in the collection there. I don't think I've watched it in about 10 years, but it's a bit of crack, like.
Yeah.
If you want to watch something. That's one where if you have kids that are maybe 12, 13 that want to get into horror movies, like take Kerry there, for instance.
Yeah.
That'd be one you could show them and wouldn't be too overly bad because there's nothing major in it.
Yeah. Although, to be honest with you, the ones that she's seen so far, that'd be tame compared to some of them.
Yeah, but look at the pedigree where he's coming from.
This is it.
Yeah.
Great. So that's starting us off. Black Sheep. We're not going to go into too much into synopsis of the films.
Yeah.
Just
the name says it all.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We're not even going to tell you any more about it, but there is cool transformation scene. There is a cool transformation scene. You know?
It may or may not be better than American Werewolf. Just saying.
No, Greg. No. Just shut up, right?
Carl has left the chat.
Greg is not a horror fan anymore.
That's sacrilegious. That hurt me to even say that.
Right. So I'll go for one then. What about The Dead Don't Die?
What a movie!
And quite new, isn't it?
Is it 2016 or 17?
It's 17.
I remember the build up to this coming out, and I never actually got to see it in the cinema. But I remember Ted texting me. He went to see it when it came out, and he was like, "You need to see it."
Yeah.
Like Adam Driver was still in Star Wars at the time, so he was hitting the height of his fame. Of course, you've got Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And when we put Bill Murray into anything, it's gold.
It is. It was actually released in 2019.
19, was it?
Yeah. So
I thought it was earlier than that.
Quite new.
This one's on Netflix actually. If you haven't seen it, get on and check it out.
Brilliant. I love the dynamic between the two lads, the two coppers. It's
that there is a dynamic that shouldn't work.
No, but it works so well.
He's so serious. Adam Driver's so serious, and then it's Bill Murray just being Bill Murray. Like that's how you'd imagine Bill Murray is in real life.
Yeah, although he's just real kind of doesn't give a shit really. Sure he does.
I'd say that's how he is in real life.
I'd say so. Yeah.
But like, we got to meet him when we were in Florida.
Wow.
We were in his
house.
He owns a restaurant in the World Golf Village,
right.
With all the Caddyshack memorabilia in it, and he was in it.
Was he just there, like having a bit of food, or?
No, he came in. I think he comes in and just looks around, make sure everything's all right now. But I nearly had a stroke. I was like, "That's Bill Murray."
And did you go over to him or not?
I did. I went over. I said,
"Was he all right?"
Oh yeah, he didn't. There was about 10 people in the place. He doesn't care. Like he'll stop and talk to people for hours apparently.
Great.
But I was great. But yeah, putting him into anything is gold.
And he seems.
I don't care. He could be 200 years of age and he's still gonna be gold.
Yeah. And once you see the name Bill Murray, yeah, damn right. Yeah. But like, he seems to like the zombie films, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, he does. All right, yeah, he is a fan of the horror genre. I know that.
Yeah.
Like he put himself into one that might feature further on down the list.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It will. You could imagine him in old classic horrors. Do you know that?
Ghostbusters.
Even further back though, like he has that look. I know we associate him with comedy, right? But I could imagine him in some of the older films, you know.
But it's not. I wouldn't even just associate. I know that's what he's known for, but like he's a very good actor. Like look at him
Oh,
in the likes of
brilliant.
Lost in Translation and all.
Mm,
He's a very very good actor.
yeah, and he's not.
Um,
And what I like about him, not he's not underrated or anything like that.
yeah, he everyone knew his value.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
you knew what you were getting when you got Bill Murray into a movie.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
mean,
like this new Ghostbusters that's coming out, we all wanted to work. We all wanted to succeed.
God, I
Um,
hope so.
oh, we need to finally erase that crap that came out there a couple of years ago.
What crap?
The other one,
What other one?
the female Ghostbusters.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, right.
That's a figment. That's a figment of your imagination. That's so bogus. Only the use of non-living objects could ever make it possible.
A dirty bad dream, and not dirty in a nice way.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Jesus, it was bad.
I can honestly say I haven't seen it. Thankful.
Don't, don't do it. But we'll go back to The Dead Don't Die. Like this has
Yes,
Danny Glover in it as well.
that's right.
And I think there must be about 20 cameos from like young, new up and coming stars in it as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Uh,
such a good. Oh yeah, Tilda Swinton is in it as
that's the girl with the sword.
yeah. She's
Yeah,
fucking mad in it.
bad. She's badass.
Yeah,
The only person that I could think of that could have done that person better probably would be Uma Thurman.
yeah. That would have been
Obviously
like
having
a,
the Kill
that.
Bill bit.
Yeah, that would have been a typical thing, wouldn't it? And do you know who else is in it? And I forgot about until just now. I don't know if you're familiar with Tom Waits.
Name's familiar. I'd have
Right?
to see a picture.
Do you remember the old guy with the all the long hair and all in that film?
Yeah,
That was Tom. He's a singer, Tom Waits. He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula as Renfield. Do you remember in that?
yeah,
That's
I,
him.
I, I yeah.
He plays these
Still,
obscure little
still the best.
roles.
Still the best Dracula movie. Just saying.
Yeah, you say that all the time. It's not going to fly on this show, right?
Gary
It's
Gary
great.
Oldman was the best Dracula.
Now that's true. He is the best Dracula, but it's not the best Dracula film, right?
No, well
We
that's
will
true.
have that discussion on a future episode. We will. I'm telling you now, we're gonna have that debate, and we'll see who wins, right?
I'm backing myself here.
And I'm backing myself because I am the king. So you're just
Bow
lucky
down
on
to
you're
bow
lucky
down
on
to
that on
royalty.
retro. You're just lucky on that on retrotainment. I'm telling you that now. The recast.
Maybe one day.
We'll see. So next, give me another one.
We'll go to the oldest movie on there, or five,
Right.
out of a huge horror franchise from the late 80s, early 90s. We're going to go Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness.
Oh, I love this film.
How could you not love this film? Any horror fan that says they don't love this film doesn't like horror.
There's
Simple.
something wrong with them, isn't there?
Yeah. This is one of them movies where we were saying earlier, when you have comedy and a horror story, that works perfectly.
Absolutely.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, it was part of the Evil Dead trilogy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now I don't know what it has to do with the first one or the second
Nothing.
one. But,
Absolutely nothing.
well, the first one and the second one are the same movie,
Yeah.
but they just changed the cast around. But the third one was just. This is where everyone got the Ash that they wanted.
Yes, absolutely.
Um,
1992 this came out, would you believe?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I knew it was early 90s now. I didn't know the exact year.
So does that mean it's what, 92, 2002, 2012?
20 next year.
30.
Or 30 next year, sorry, 30.
30. So I wonder, will they bring any specials out or anything?
Well, having released, they're waiting on. I think they're waiting on season 4 of Ash versus the Evil Dead now as well. So they might well do.
Good.
Because I know Sam Raimi brought out something when the original Evil Dead was 30.
Right. And they did something for it.
Yeah. Now I don't know whether the second one got any, but we won't talk about that.
What do they call the zombies in this series?
Deadites.
Deadites. Very good.
I had to remember. There's so many different ones that are called different things.
I know.
The Deadites, yeah. Brilliant.
But again, it's so off the fucking wall. It's medieval. He goes back in time to the medieval times and
This
finds
this is my boomstick.
evil versions of himself. And of course, yeah, they think he's a god when he has the fucking they go
The
on and all
shotgun.
this. Yeah, brilliant.
But like, there's even the scene here where where he has all the little small evil ashes,
Mm.
and he's drowning them. He swallows loads of them. He pours hot coffee. How about some hot coffee?
Brilliant.
Genius.
He was.
But
He
like
is.
this is what set him up. Like
Yeah.
it's been nearly 30 years, and now they've decided to start making a show. Do you know what I mean? A couple of years ago, they started making a show about him. He's still that relevant.
Well, I think without being a monster, he's one of the iconic horror characters. You know,
Yeah. Well,
most of the
there's probably not many good guy horror characters that are really overly rememberable.
yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, you'd have Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. You have
Laurie from Halloween.
Laurie from Halloween, who's probably the most famous of them.
Yeah,
Like well, obviously being Jamie Lee Curtis, she went on to have a stellar career.
yeah,
Heather Langenkamp, not so much. You've got Sigourney Weaver as Ripley.
yeah.
There's not many. Do you know what I mean? Most of the time, like it's the killer that's always remembered.
Yeah.
But Ash, like again, this is another misconception in this thing that like Evil Dead 1, he was the main guy in it. He wasn't. It's the same as Jason in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the bad guy in the first one. No, probably not.
No, is Ellen.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Oops.
But if you haven't seen that by now, you don't deserve. You don't even deserve to be watching this show.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, you don't deserve a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But that way.
So, but yeah, Evil Dead 3: Army of Darkness is quality.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
All these films are so.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite of the trilogy.
Mine too. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It's. But you know what I love about it as well. You know that real old. It looks. It hasn't aged very well, right? That's fine. But there's certain films that don't age well that have a certain charm to them, and this is one of them. And you know what?
The humor in this makes it.
But I love the stop motion that they do and all in it as well. Like, you know, the kind of animation. It's fucking. It reminds me of the old kind of Jason and the Argonauts type films. You know.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it was only
where
on
he's
there.
fighting the skeletons and all.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's all slow, stop. It's like it's drawn in.
Yeah, they did what's it stop motion, so they move the figure and then take a shot of it, then they move it again a certain way. It's very painstaking, but
I was going to say, imagine how long that'd take.
Yeah, it'd take a long time. But that's what they did, and you know, that was part of the evolution of filmmaking, really, wasn't it?
But there are people that love their craft.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, now you have CGI, you ping it into a computer and it's done, and you're like, well, you don't need a job anymore.
Yeah, but isn't it mad though, Greg, right? How CGI advances so quickly and it leaves previous films with CGI looking like crap.
Oh, it's amazing what they're doing with computer technology.
Yeah.
Like there's part of me that said I'd love to see the likes of something like this done now, but I think it'd be destroyed.
I think so, yeah.
There's like you'd want to see, say, like American Werewolf made now with the technology they have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, the film's amazing as it was made when it was made. But with the technology they have and the cameras they have now, everything will be brought up another level. But it would also take away the classic status of it.
Yes. I wouldn't be against maybe trying to reshoot that scene with practical effects added with some CG effects, maybe. If they kind of did a mix of both, but if they just did totally CGI, no, I don't think so. But like, you know, if they mix it up between the two, and if let's say that they looked at that transformation scene and said, "Well, that part would be better with a bit of CGI in it," or that bit, you know.
There are certain parts in movies you look at it going, yeah, you need a bit more of what they have now.
Yeah.
To make that work. But
They should never
It's
get rid of practical effects. They should never get
no,
rid
but
of
like people that have honed their craft to be able to build things like that
them.
are should be held in the highest regard in Hollywood, and been like that should be my first option.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can't build it, we'll use CGI and go from there.
Yeah, that's that's the best way to do it, I think.
Yeah, animatronics is still one of the best ways to do things.
Absolutely,
Probably more
absolutely.
expensive, mind you, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but as you say, when it's more satisfying, I think. It's just if they can get the animatronic to run a bit smoothly rather than
Yeah,
totally mechanically, it looks great. Like,
yeah. Sure. That's again for a different. We might get a guest on for that one to
yes,
talk about things like that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So we've two more left, and um, Zombieland was one, wasn't it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that has Bill fucking Murray.
Oh God.
This is the one I referred to earlier where he actually got himself into a movie.
Yeah.
He went to the producers, well, allegedly went to the producers and was like, I want into this movie.
As himself, no less.
Yeah. The single greatest cameo ever.
Bar none.
Yeah.
And it was so good that did you see Double Tap? I only saw Double Tap the other night for the
Yeah, he
first
came
time.
onto Netflix as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's just as good as the first one.
Oh, I don't know about just as good now.
Nah, I think it's brilliant. I love it.
Well, the second one's very good now for
Yeah.
a sequel, but I don't think it's as good as the first one.
I suppose the first one was different for what it was, really, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, like you had Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, is it Emma Stone?
Emma Stone, yeah.
And I can't think of the young girl's name in it.
Yeah, can't remember her name, but
It's brilliant. Like I love that Jesse Eisenberg has his rules,
yeah,
and like it stops like a little book all the time. It's like, yeah, rule 101, cardio.
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
It was
Brilliant.
it was a nice kind of take on the genre. It really
Yeah,
was.
it needed a refresh.
Yeah, and I think this was the refresh that it needed,
Yeah, like the zombie movies have been done every week for the last fucking 50 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's born with the same old stick.
Yeah.
Slow, this, that, and the other. That's like the likes of 28 Days Later and Wreck and things like that, when they changed it to like a little bit of infected, fast moving, proper out and out animalistic rage, was brilliant about it.
Yeah.
But like when you have the same old stick, like this one was brilliant. Like Zombieland, where you see him running around the car park and the zombies are chasing him. Just running around in circles. But they break every rule in this. This broke every horror trope
Yeah.
that's been known about zombie movies and made it funny as well.
I loved Woody Harrelson in this. It was almost like that role was made for him. Maybe it was, I don't know, but
Yeah,
he
well,
plays it perfectly.
He's so good, so good
Yeah.
in everything.
Did I ever tell you about the time I met him
No,
in work? And I wasn't that long in the airport. This is not a long story, don't worry. I wasn't that long in the airport, and I saw him going through. Went over and said hello to him, and he was bang on. And I said to him, "So tell me, can white men really jump?"
what a movie!
I know. And he goes, "Of course we can, man." Right? And that was cute. Everyone was like, "Ha ha ha ha," and he fucked off. But didn't he leave his iPod behind?
Oh,
So this
great.
would have been the first, John, the first era of iPods.
The big, huge, chunky house.
Yeah. So we had to get him paged. So it's like, could Woody Harrelson please come back to the security area, please? That's Woody Harrelson. And thankfully, it was a Friday night and there was fuck all people in the place. Could you imagine if that had went over the speakers and it was busy? Everyone would have been right back down. But he came back and he was like, "Hey, thanks, man." But it was just
But it
cool.
made more sense to go to the gate where he was going.
Yeah, well, I would have done that, but they paged him. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't me
What a
that made
man.
the decision to page him.
Above your pay grade.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, great film. Absolutely brilliant film.
The bit though in this movie where they're driving along, like I know where we're going, and he's driving along, and you see all these big mansions, and you just see the BM, and you're still
Yeah.
trying to work out who it is. And he's like, "This is if you want a grade A star, this is a grade A star." And then it just goes in, it's just Bill Murray, and you're like, "Yes."
Yeah, and as I said earlier, as himself, that's what makes it even better.
Oh, it's
Bill
so
Murray.
good.
And
But then
the
what?
way he comes out dressed up as a zombie, like
Yeah, it's so funny to scare Jesse Eisenberg's character, and he just shoots him point blank,
another.
and you're like, "Oh, yeah."
I was hoping he'd stay with them for the whole film.
I was hoping so. Now his name would have been on the cast at that stage.
Yeah, true.
But what a man!
What a
What a
man.
man! What a movie!
Absolutely. But as good as that is, and
This one,
it
that
is as good as it is.
yeah,
This next film is one
tops it
of
all.
it tops it all, and it's one of the best zombie films. Period. Tell us what it is, please, Greg.
Twilight. No,
You're using up all your lives in this fucking show, you know
I know, yeah.
that.
What happened? Permaban coming. No, this is part of the Cornetto trilogy. There's only one movie when you're going zombie comedy. What it can be. The 2004 classic,
Yeah, that's
Shaun of the
it.
Dead.
Oh, what a film! My God,
How good is this movie?
I saw it 3 times in the cinema.
I seen it once in the cinema. I was only 13 when it came out.
I'm a bit older than you.
Yeah. Um. The two boys are just so good, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Um.
Talk about a perfect marriage of friends working together.
Yeah. Well, it's now come to the point of being like that. Like you have The Rock and Kevin
Kevin
Hart.
Hart.
You have yeah. There's certain people that just work together.
Yeah.
Laurel and Hardy, things like that. These two were just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And what I
Uh,
love about them is, and like as you know, with the Cornetto trilogy, there's little things in each film. Not only
that
just
link.
not only the Cornettos, right? But there's just always little things you may or may not notice. But if you haven't noticed them before, you might watch it again and it's like, oh Jesus, yeah, like,
Yeah, there's something in all three movies about the other movies,
yeah,
apart from the Cornettos.
yeah,
It's brilliant. It is. Like it might be something that said, "Oh, I seen this," or things like the World's End pub has something from.
the Winchester.
Yeah.
I love what I love about this, Greg, is that it's as gory in parts as we've said in
Oh yeah.
than other film, but it's done all in daylight.
Yeah. It's what's so good about it. Well, it's not all done in daylight, but
Well,
a
for the
lot.
most part, right?
Yeah. Like it's not something you see in horror movies
No,
very much anymore. Everything's done at night because it's easier to scare people in the dark. But if you can scare people during the day, you're doing something right.
yeah, absolutely,
Again, we go back to atmosphere. Even for a comedy horror, this has a lot of tension atmosphere in
big
it,
time, big time.
especially between the two lads and the roommate.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
it's quality.
he's actually good in that as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's actually good friends of theirs.
Really.
Yeah, he's in a couple other movies as well with
Mm.
Nick Frost. But like Dylan Moran is in this. Another stand-up gold.
As obnoxious as ever.
Yeah, as usual. But sure, look, he's not going to get a part doing anything else.
No, he's very good.
Like even here, though, the scene where they cross the other group, and it's just the same group of people.
And that's another one with some good cameos as well. Matt Lucas
Yeah,
is there, and Martin, what's his name, Martin Freeman.
yeah.
So
And then there is a good few English actors in it. Yeah.
yeah. It's very good.
It's very easy to miss the cameos in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quality.
I
This is a down on your luck try and do anything you can here to survive.
And yeah, it's all about say getting the girl as well, getting her
Yeah,
back.
I love it. You know, everyone that's seen this movie remembers the plan. What do you do? Get Liz, go to Mum's, kill Phil, go to the Winchester,
Yeah.
have a pint, wait for all this to blow over. Simple.
It's a good plan when you think about it.
Well, I mean, they have big doors. There's a gun there. Big Al says it shoots.
So must you?
Uh, Big Al also says dogs can't look up.
Oh yeah.
Must be. No, it's this is quality. This
Yeah.
as a zombie comedy movie, this is absolutely quality.
There is none better. There
As
is
you
none
said,
better.
even as a zombie movie.
Actually, we could even say it's a rom-com because there is romance there.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
I like what you did there.
We've actually
This fits.
we've ended
Combined
up finishing and keeping everybody happy there.
Yeah, the story in this, like him trying to win her back, Dylan going out with her roommate, in love with her. It's just a mashup and a complete fuck up of everything, and it just works perfectly.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is brilliant.
Well, I love yeah. I mean, there's so many nods to Dawn of the Dead in this film. I mean, it has the same music, the gonk, as the Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, well, I think the lads went big on it, don't they? Didn't they?
Yeah, big time.
They threw a whole lot of respect towards George A. Romero when they were redoing it, and I think there was a lot more.
He does love it.
Yeah, I think there might be a lot of advice in there from him for it and things like that.
Because the zombies were made very similar to George's, weren't they?
Yeah, the slow moving but strong, and like even the way when they bite people, like the skin comes away.
Yeah.
In flaps and things, the way it did in the old movies. This was a great throwback to zombie horrors of old, but to capture the imagination of new people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you showed someone Dawn of the Dead now, or maybe not Dawn of the Dead because Dawn of the Dead's class, but like the likes of Night of the Living Dead or something, they're not going to pay attention to it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like Dawn of the Dead was brilliant. Even the Zack Snyder 2004 one is very good.
As remakes go, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. You put it in the list. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Carl has picked a remake, but that's for a different show.
You've used up fucking nearly 9 year lives in one show, man.
I know, it's great, isn't it? They'll recharge. Fine. I can collect 100 coins and come back. But no, like the nods in this to the old school way of making movies was brilliant.
Yeah.
Even the way they built the story, it wasn't just straight into zombies attacking for no reason. Now it kind of does come from no reason, but all zombie movies come that way, don't they?
Yeah. But here's another thing. Like that again, I can't imagine anybody who hasn't seen this film, who's a fan of the genre. You know, it's.
I was generally surprised that this broke America.
Wait, no, I wouldn't have been, because there's a certain charm to the lads in it. Like, you know yourself, sometimes.
Oh no, there is, but a lot of English movies don't tend to really break big in America.
Because a lot of the movies, what I think, a lot of movies that try and break big in America have this stereotypical thing of English people being up their own holes, or, you know, and they're not all like that, you know?
I suppose, well, they're not all like that, yeah. Like, there's a couple of movies I can think off the top of my head, like Lock, Stock and Snatch, that didn't break big over there. I can kind of get why.
They're typecast, you know what I mean?
Them movies were brilliant and should have. I was generally surprised that this broke as big as it did. But then again, when you think of America, there's a lot of horror fans.
Yeah.
A lot of die-hard horror fans.
I'll tell you what I think. There's a subtlety in this with the English actors. And what I mean by that is, you don't know if they're where they're from, basically. And what I mean by that is, they could, like in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, they're that kind of chavvy, kind of landing, fucking this and that, mate. You know? or
Yeah, yeah.
in Four Weddings and a Funeral, it's Hugh Grant, and he's very posh, you know. Whereas,
Fuck that movie.
yeah, but you get what I'm saying. So like these lads, they're kind of neutral.
Yeah,
Even
it's not shoved in your face. It's
no, and I think that's why it resonates so well with most people. Actually, not only horror people, but most people.
yeah. This like again what I said about Evil Dead 3. This is another movie you could watch with
Yeah,
maybe a 10 to 12 year old that wants to start trying to watch horror films.
yeah, exactly.
They're not gonna wait. Like
It's a soft introduction.
yeah, there's nothing majorly scary into it, but for people like us who watch it, you can see it building
Yeah.
to something.
And what I love about it as well is there's little relatable things in it. As you, well, if you were in their situation, for example, you know when they see the girl and the big fat guy zombies, and they just start fucking records at them.
Yeah, I love that. Oh,
That's
don't throw it. That's Batman. Throw it.
throw it, yeah. Like like you would do that if there was a box of records there. You'd be like, what am I gonna do? Fuck it.
Yeah, you would fling them exactly like frisbee
Yeah.
or shoot ninja Death Stars.
Yeah. You'd have to, and
I love how they're trying to get into the shed, and like it's the silly things like when you're in a panic, they're trying to get into the shed, trying to open. So instead of kicking the lock off, he jumps through the door.
yeah. They love doing that
then,
in those films.
yeah, and then he does it with the fence when he tries to jump over the fence.
Oh god, that's Hot Fuzz, isn't it?
He does it in Hot Fuzz as well, but he does it in this one. Do you remember he goes
That's right,
jumps
yeah.
over the fence
Yeah.
and the fence falls?
Fucking brilliant.
Like that's something that appears in the 3 movies as well. Him jumping over the fences.
Yeah.
Quality, just quality, out and out quality.
Absolutely.
I'll say to the listeners now, don't be surprised if that ends up in the actual zombie movie list as well.
Well, do you know what? I was only thinking that, and I think it'd be a crime if we didn't put it in that
Not to.
list. So
We'd be hypocrites.
It's the only exception to the rule, okay?
Yeah. Well, it's like as I says a few times during this, having comedy aspects in a horror works if you do it right.
Yeah.
You can still have a serious film with comedy aspects in it.
Yeah. But this, I think this has everything, for everybody.
Yeah. And as it says, it's one that you could watch with it like a preteen kid if they want to start watching. Can we watch a scary movie? Yeah, we'll put on Shaun of the Dead there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you haven't seen any of these 5, go watch them now. Some of them are on Netflix. Shaun of the Dead's on Netflix. Zombieland's on Netflix.
Dead Don't
Die is on Netflix. I think Black Sheep is on Prime.
I think it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, actually.
Or it's on Disney, one or the other, because you never know what shows up on Disney.
I know.
But like as far as I know, at least 4 of the 5 you can find on most streaming services.
Yeah, absolutely.
But quality.
So that's So I mean, there's not much else to say except go check out those films.
Every one of them, and then get back to us. Let us know what you think.
Exactly. Let us know I want to know what people think of Black Sheep. That's what I want to know.
I can guarantee it's gonna be one of those, you either love it or hate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you love it, you love
it. Well, look, we'll leave it at that for now. We've been on the slab, giving you our favorite ZomCom horrors.
Rom-com,
Blom flom.
Anything that begins with a com.
G-Man, thanks again for doing this with me.
King, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Sign us out.
We are done.